please.
Good, please.
Go down to church house.
What are they screaming about?
That happened at church.
Sierra and
Okay,
Sierra.
now, no. Okay, what can we pull out of here? So this same thing, but you're gonna have to draw a couple lines to help you. So what are some factors of 6?
3 and 2.
2 and 3. Okay, what about 2?
2 and 2.
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
4.
2.
2 and 2. So what's a match?
2.
2. Okay, so we got, and they have to be in all 3 of them. So 1, 1, and a 1. So our number on the outside is gonna be a what?
8.
2.
What though? No, you gotta multiply?
No,
Only if there's
number.
multiple of them. So Jane, it's just like when you guys go to the grocery store, who gets the debit card?
Me.
Yeah, who's ever the oldest.
Yeah.
Okay, she don't give one to each kid. So 6 divided by 2,
It's 3. 2 and 2.
2 divided by 2,
It's
1.
4 divided by 2,
1.
okay?
Oh.
And then we keep all of our signs where they're at, so a negative, plus, minus. How many ends can we pull?
2.
None.
Well, you didn't.
Okay, they would all have to share something, so it's gonna be N3, N2.
Keep on. Yeah, we're just building it. You ain't building it. You're good.
Okay, these ones are where you're gonna factor, okay, with the original way that we've done. So, you draw 2 sets of parentheses. And we find, how many m's do we have? You look at the first, yep, so we got m squared, so you put m and m. And we find some factors of 64. So 1 and 64, does 2 go into 64?
Wait a minute.
Wait, isn't this what your
2 and
question is?
2 and 32. What about 3? So you say 64 divided by 3 on your calculator.
No. No.
64 divided by 4, does 4 go in there?
16.
I don't, you guys are shouting out, I don't know.
Yeah, it was 64. Or 4 and 16.
16, what about 5?
No.
6,
No.
7, 8,
Yeah.
8 and 8. So of these numbers, I need something to add or subtract to give me what? 16. Okay, so what can I use?
8 plus
8 and 8. Okay, and I need a negative 16. So how can I make that happen?
8. Negative and minus 2.
A negative and a negative. Okay, do we stop or keep going?
Keep going to 0.
We gotta keep going because it says equals 0. Okay, so if there was no equals 0,
M equals.
then you would circle those. Okay, so it's gonna be m equals, and we do the opposite. So it's gonna be
8.
plus 8 and a plus 8.
Do we have to put plus or can we just put 8?
You can put 8, but. Okay, the next one is still factoring. So draw your 2 parentheses. We got x and x. We need to find some factors of what number?
8.
8.
2.
1 and 8. 2 and 4. Okay, we need something to add or subtract to give me a 2.
4 minus 4.
A 4 and a 2, and I need a negative 2.
Negative 4 plus 2.
A negative 4 and a plus 2. Do we stop or do we keep going? We stop because why?
There's no 0 equals 0.
Yeah, it does say equals 0. So this is our actual legitimate answer. Okay, the last section on your test is going to be the quadratic formula. Okay, that's what we literally just got done doing. There are 3 types. Okay, there are three types. The very first type is gonna be where you have a whole number. Okay, we call them rational, so maybe your answer is like 4 comma 2. Okay, maybe those are gonna be your answers. Okay, the other type is gonna be where you have something that's gonna say 2 plus or minus 44 over 6. Okay, and you would have 2 of them. We can't simplify any further. And then the last type where it would be 2, we could say plus or minus I to the 60. This would be an imaginary. Okay, so these are rational, meaning whole numbers, irrational, and then imaginary. Okay, so you need to know when to stop or not. Okay, so you have to check the square root. If you can keep going with the square root, then it means it's going to be a rational number. Okay, if the square root comes out and it's a decimal or it stays the same on there, then you know that you can't do it. But if there's a negative under there, then you know you need to pull out the I. Okay, so let's look at this first one and see what's the type. Somewhere on your sheet, you better write the formula. So it's negative b, right, plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, I will not give you the formula on the day of your test. You should have wrote it down.
We can use this for our test, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you got negative, what's our b?
2, 6.
Negative 6 plus or minus the
Negative
square
6.
root, negative 6
Plus
squared.
4, plus 2, plus negative 8.
It's not plus, Jaden, but
Oh.
It's
negative 8 all over 2 times our a, which is 2. Okay, on all these problems, you want to type in underneath the square root first, and then you can see if you can square root that number, because otherwise if you do the square root and it doesn't simplify, you're like, I don't know what to do. Okay, so underneath the square root, what are you going to get?
That's a lot of typing, man. You get, whoa.
You got 100.
I got 100.
Okay, I was about to say, I thought that was too big.
So you're going to have 100 underneath the square root. What's this minus minus over here?
Positive.
Yeah, it's going to be positive 6. And what about on the bottom?
4.
Okay, see, does a square root of 100 simplify?
Yeah. So, 80. No.
Is there any type of that?
Use some help.
Yeah, it's 10. So you're going to have 6 plus or minus 10 over 4. So this is one where you could keep going. Okay, and so now what do we do?
Separate your answer.
No.
Simplify.
You separate like the answer.
Yeah, you got to separate them. So you should have 2. You should have 6 plus 10 over 4 and 6 minus 10 over 4.
Okay.
Okay, and you can type in that whole fraction on the calculator and see what you get.
Oh, man.
Drayden, type it in. What are you doing? You ain't special?
Oh.
First one's 4.
The first one should be 4, yeah. Jaden, type.
Negative 1.
Negative 1.
Negative 1.
Your mom.
Trying to have everybody else do all the work.
I got a bit answer.
Okay, so which type would this be? Would it be rational, irrational, or imaginary?
Rational.
Yeah, it's rational. You got whole numbers. Shit. I gotta cut my hand. You made copies this morning.
Handle hand sanitizer.
Dude, was that so cool? That picture was wild.
It does.
It made my brother break out. Like, my little brother, he came home with, like, a whole, like, thing on his hands.
Okay, look at 27. So you're gonna say negative b, which is negative 5, plus or minus negative 5 squared. Somebody help me out. Minus
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 4.
4, 5, negative 1, all over 2 times our a. What do you get for underneath the square root?
Bruh,
45.
Huh?
45.
45.
45.
Under 10.
So over here, this one should be 45. So is it gonna be an imaginary?
No.
No, why?
Because of the negative.
There's no negative, okay? So we know it's not imaginary, but maybe it is rational or irrational. What if this negative 5 gonna give you?
Positive.
Positive 5, and then on the bottom?
10.
10. Does square root of 45 simplify?
Yeah. It's a 9.
Check it. Check it. Type in the square root of 45. I want you to do it on your calculator, because if you get something weird, then you're like, so you got something weird, because you said, So you got 3 square root of 5. All you guys calculators are going to say different stuff, so I need to know.
3 square root of 5.
And then you click this one.
What?
Or 6.708.
3 square root of 5.
Okay, so some of you guys got this.
Take that one.
6.08, and then a bunch more decimals. Or you got 3 square root of 5. What that means is that that square root does not simplify. You should get a whole answer like the one before, we got 10. Okay, so that means that you're done. If you get any sort of other square root, fraction, decimal, then it's not right. Okay, so you circle it. Okay, start back on the front page. Those are the ones that it's been forever since you've done. Okay, start back on the front page.